Welcome back to the PokerStars.net European Poker Tour. Heads up in the EPT London main event between Mantas Visotskis and Ruben Visser. And Visser's chip lead has been cut significantly as we resume with the blinds at 61.20 with a 20k ante. Visser has roughly 10.9 million. Visotskis on about 8.4 million. 91 big blinds, plays 70 big blinds. Neil Johnson, PokerStars live event specialist, is still sitting alongside me, James Hartigan.
How you doing, James?
And we have a guest to analyse the action. Joining us for the first time on EPT Live, or certainly on the English language version of EPT Live, it's Dutch pro Paul Berende. Good to see you, Paul.
Thank you.
And Paul, how much experience do you have of playing against Ruben?
I know Ruben already for a long time, live and online. And when the final table started, I definitely thought he was one of the favorites to win this thing. And I know he has a lot of confidence playing heads up, so. Yeah, I thought he was definitely a big favorite starting this heads up, and he already had him down to like 20 bigs, I saw, but unfortunately the Lithuanian guy, or I think it's Lithuanian,
yeah.
Yeah, he already got back to 70 big blinds now, but it definitely got more interesting for the watchers now to see what happens.
Well, Neil and I were saying in the last level that in heads-up play, momentum is so important, and if there's one thing Mantas Visotskis has had, it's momentum, especially during the last couple of orbits.
Yeah, absolutely. He's, I mean, he had the one where, and this goes to something that Daniel was talking about in TO a little bit, as far as because the early stages become kind of very clickbacky. It's like it's a min raise and then it's a standard C bet, and Mantas was able to disguise kings against Ruben's queen in that way, because it becomes very difficult to put somebody on a hand at that point, right, Paul?
Yeah, I think he played that one pretty well, actually. I heard he flatted kings with like 23 bigs or something when Ruben opened.
Yep.
It's just a really awkward stack size for him to like 3-bet or jam. You don't really want to jam because you want to like keep all Ruben's weak hands in the pot and let him to flop top pair and stack him off against your kings. And yeah, it's just for him a perfect spot to just flat your kings and get it all in against Ruben pre-flop or let him bluff a little.
Right. So we're going to keep Paul Berende with us for a little while. Neil Johnson's going to step out. Joe Stapleton's coming back in. It's a bit of a switcheroo here on EPT Live. Neil, we'll catch up with you a bit later on.
Absolutely, I'll be back. Joe will eventually have to go back to the floor again. It's looking like it's not going to be as fast as we thought it was originally. Thank you, gentlemen. Have fun.
Thank you very much, Neil Johnson, PokerStars live event specialist. And should just say, Paul, that you'll be a familiar face, or certainly your curly hair will be familiar to regular viewers of the EPT. We've seen you on a few feature tables and on a few final tables, most famously, of course, in Monaco back in 2010 when you made the last 32 of the main event. You were the first to bust, immediately leapt in the high roller, joined that tournament during late registration and made the final table. Boom.
Yeah, that was pretty sick that I instant jumped into the 25k at that moment, but I had a sick live heater for the last couple months when I started that tournament, and I felt really good, really confident, and I was like, fuck it, just gamble. And I sold some action to some friends, and yeah, I decided to jump in it, and it worked out pretty well.
Why life heater? Was it just, I mean, you say life, do you mean just poker, or do you mean you had other stuff going on in life that were heating up?
I was talking about, poker-wise at the moment, but I mean, I was having fun in life as well.
Sorry I was gone for so long, James, but roulette is hard.
So, to ask the cliched question, how much did you lose?
All of it?
No surprise
You
there.
would think 9 would come out eventually. Like, mathematically, it's going to hit eventually. But no.
I have to say, in all seriousness, obviously, we've been streaming from...
Oh, is the free roll started?
You probably blinded out. We've been streaming from like midday local time on most days, so Joe and I have been coming in kind of around 10:30 in the morning. There is nothing more soul-destroying than walking into a casino at 10:30 in the morning and seeing a crowded roulette table.
You guys, I still have 1.7 big blinds in the free roll. I know my math's a little off, but...
I guess you're in your comfort zone at the moment.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, no.
Well, these guys actually played a big pot a couple of hands ago, and that's seen Ruben actually establish a near to 2-to-1 chip lead over Mantas now. He's got around 12.5 million against just shy of 7 million. So 103 bigs for Ruben, 58 big blinds for Mantas. I mean, what do you know about Ruben as a heads-up player, Paul? Has he got much experience of heads-up play?
I think he's got like probably way more experienced than the other guy, but heads up isn't really his main game though. But I mean, I know like online he played big games like 6 max and like shorthanded as well. And yeah, eventually you get to play heads up with like a lot of players. They are pretty good as well, and yeah, I'm definitely 100% sure Ruben is a big favorite here. But I mean, it's still heads up. Anything can happen, and it's pretty deep. So I don't know. I don't really know what like the strategy of the other guy is against Ruben, because he probably knows Ruben is really capable as well. But like I saw him like limping a couple times. I'm not sure how Ruben adapted to that, or how the other guy like really, yeah, what his strategy in that was. But
let's just remind everyone watching of the two players we've got here. I mean, we talk a lot about Ruben Visser. He is a Dutch pro, a former member of PokerStars Pro. He qualified online to get into this tournament. He's locked up at least £455,000 as part of the deal they struck 3 ways. He made the final table of the PCA last year, finishing 8th for more than $150,000. This is obviously his best finish on the EPT to date. We should talk a little bit about Mantas Visotskis, because obviously many people may not be familiar with this guy. He's mainly an online player, online earnings of in excess of $600,000, including a second-place finish in the Sunday Million just before Christmas. And from what we've been hearing on Twitter and email, Paul, very well known and very well liked by the Lithuanian poker community.
all right, and I actually heard he's not really afraid of like getting into big pots as well. Like on the bubble of the unofficial final table, we actually got in a lot of pots. Like while he was out of position against 2 really good players, Ruben and I think Steve O'Dwyer as well, and he showed us he's like not afraid to get into big pots. So I mean, he's definitely gonna get tricky against Ruben now, 70 big blinds deep.
Do you want a free roll update from me?
Oh, is this your way of needling me? I quintupled up on my first hand.
Well, I got it all in with King-Queen against Ace-King and Ace-King. Queen on the flop, Queen on the turn. I thank you. Triple up to 23,000.
Yep, just 2 guys playing for 140K here, heads up in EPT London, but let's just have more free roll updates about you sucking out.
So who's the better player of you guys, if you have to?
Hardigan, hands down.
And that's saying something.
Hardigan can fold his way to the money in virtually any tournament. He's a min crusher.
He flops a set again. Nice life.
And improves to a house on the turn. I thank you.
At least Heads Up Poker is really interesting to commentate on.
A lot of action. I know Ruben already played like one live tournament in Amsterdam actually a couple months ago, where he was heads up for more than 10 hours against another guy.
We heard about that one.
That was just the most boring thing to reel ever. I was there as well, just drinking beers with friends.
Is that a PLO tournament too?
Yeah, no antis PLO against a guy who limped every hand and didn't really want to play big pots and tanked for every hand for like 30 seconds. So yeah, watching National Geographic like at 3 o'clock in the night is probably more interesting than this. But
you see, the difference is when you were railing Ruben in that, you were drinking. You see, that's the...
yeah, then everything gets interesting, that's true. Small pot here for Ruben, I think.
2 in a row.
Well, we talked about Ruben's deep run in the PCA and his 8th place finish in that event. Peter on Twitter says, maybe worth to mention Ruben made a deep run in the World Series of Poker main event in 2011. Ended up collecting almost $200,000 for 44th place. That is no small achievement. And of course, he was the runner-up in a side event at the Season 6 EPT Grand Final. That was the same Grand Final where Paul made the final table of the 25K high roller. This was a €5,000 buy-and-side event. And that score, that second place finish for Ruben, was worth more than €171,000. And a stat I always like wielding out, Paul, is if we look at the grand final, The only European players to win the EPT Grand Final have all been from Holland.
Did they? Yeah.
So you didn't even know that. You can use that one now when you want to boast about how good the Dutch are at the pokers.
What do you guys think of this tweet? Soth writes in to say, I think Ruben has missed his opportunity. Small balling has been a mistake, such as playing results. Paul?
Can you repeat the question?
Sure. I think Ruben has missed his opportunity. Small balling has been a mistake.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean,
just because a guy has given up some of his lead, I don't know if you can necessarily say strategy is a mistake.
No, for sure not. No. I mean, I don't think he made a mistake there. No. I mean, the last hand the Lithuanian guy doubled with was the Queen 6 versus the Kings? Or was there a different hand after that as well?
That was the big hand.
That was the big hand. He doubled to 4.5 million, and then Ruben bluffed on a 5-8-8, 10 export with 7-6 or something. And yeah, he told me in the break he thought the guy would give him respect this time because Ruben didn't really show a lot of bluffs in these kind of spots until that point. But the guy almost called pretty quickly, and yeah, so I think the guy doesn't really give Ruben that much respect in these spots. So, but let's see what happens now. They're both like more deep than before, so I don't know what will happen now. They're still min-raising every button, I think. Or is the other guy open limping a lot?
Well, that was a min-plus raise from Visser there.
Yeah, min-plus, almost the same thing.
We now does have the 2-1 chip lead over his opponent. So momentum at the start of this level, I mean, we're pretty much 15 minutes into the level now, does seem to be going back in the direction of Ruben Visser.
You think it changes that they made a deal 3-handed for like that is more a relief of the guy, that it's less money to play, so he's feeling more comfortable playing at sub for less money than he would play normally.
Excuse the double negative, but it can't not be a factor.
Yeah, of course it's a factor, but is it a factor in a positive way or a negative way, you think?
Well, I mean, I guess looking at it from Mantis' point of view, if he finishes second, he'll actually receive less money than second place would have paid. So I guess he really wants to go for the win to ensure he gets a bumper payday that he feels he deserves.
Yeah, that's true.
And I think the deal worked very beneficially in Ruben's favour.
Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah, I think it was a really good deal for Ruben. Because they chopped some money 3-way or something, which they held out for the winner.
Yeah.
But, and they chopped that like even way or something, like 45k each. But then again, the chip leader should pay more in that spot than like the short stack, which they probably didn't know, or I don't know.
I want you to weigh in on this, Paul, because obviously we've got a lot of people watching who maybe, you know, aren't big tournament players, maybe quite new to the game, and most of the poker they've seen will be big live events with huge first prizes, but maybe the deal wasn't necessarily disclosed during the TV show. I mean, how important is deal making now as part of tournament poker?
I guess like in these days it's almost like you have so many people who just play for that big of a prize. Like in tournaments like these, it's just unavoidable to like not get any deal 3-handed with players who are all like pretty capable. Nowadays are like, you aren't like seeing many 3-handed games anymore where one guy is like really bad.
No money in poker, everybody's solid.
Nah, that's not true, but I mean in these kind of tournaments, when you get this deep, you already know everybody's like capable of playing solid poker, and your edge is like minimal. I mean, anyway, I mean, and who wants to play a sit and go for like 200k pounds? I mean, doesn't make any sense, I guess. But if Ruben probably thinks he's like a really big favorite against the guy 3-handed or heads up, he would probably let the deal down because the money doesn't change his life that much that he would like, yeah, that would make such a difference. But this guy seems pretty okay. I mean, he's a winning online player, MTTs, I heard, and yeah, he seems pretty solid.
He's wearing a bow tie. Come on.
Yeah.
You don't ever forget the bow tie equity.
Yeah, he looks pretty believable actually with the bow tie. I would give him more credit for a 3-bet.
A raise and a call.
Here we go, guys. This is the one. I got a good feeling about this one. Big pot here. With a board like this.
9, 8, 6, and it goes check, check. 4 on the turn.
Here we go. This is where all the money goes in.
Well, some money's gone in.
Could have sworn that was the one.
So close. I have a question. Do you ever ask Marcel Luske to get into the commentary booth for the final stage of an EPT?
We haven't, actually.
Well, seeing as we have had an official request from one of the PokerStars suits to have more singing on EPT Live, maybe we should get Marcel to make an appearance. For those of you asking about our guest commentator at the moment, we have a Dutch pro at the final table. We have a Dutch pro in the booth. It's Paul Berende.
You guys, this is the one. I got a feeling about this one. It's been 3-bet pre-flop. And a call. This is it. I'm standing up.
So Visser made it 260,000. The 3-bet from Visser to 710,000.
Oh, how does the money not go in on this flop? Come on.
10 Jack Queen with 2 clubs.
It is kind of an action board though, but we'll see what happens.
This is going to continue. And there's a fold.
Almost.
I really thought that was the one.
We're going to go through that arc, aren't we, where you're going to keep doing it, and it's going to stop being funny and become really annoying, and then it'll do it so many times it will come out the other side. And
James,
start being
don't
funny
show
again.
the seams.
Paul, who are your buddies with on the circuit when you're traveling live tournaments and you're traveling the EPT? Who are the guys you hang out with?
Ruben is one of them. I went to some EPTs with him, and yeah, you have like a select group of Dutch guys who are grinding or playing a couple of EPTs per year, and I know a couple of them already for like a couple of years. Joep is one of them. Joep van den Bijgaard. In Dutch we say Joep van den Bijgaard, but
yeah, we can't actually say that because we're all incapable.
yeah, I know. So I made it easier for you. But there another one is Patrick Rankers. He's a little more unknown. He went 8th in the last edition of EPT Prague, I think, or 9th. He made a sick bubble against the guy who went first, I think, or second, the German guy, Martin Finger. He won it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. He had a really big hand for like 3 times average at the last 9 players with Ace King versus Queens, and yeah, he lost it. It was pretty sick because I was rating them at the moment and was like his first really deep run in the EPT, and yeah, I was really devastated about it at the time.
That hand's not the one, in case anyone's wondering. Raise and take it. Arvis.
Nice backhanded compliment from Chris Dougal. Great commentary all week, guys. Even through this epic heads-up battle, you're managing to keep it entertaining. Just. Well, if you've been enjoying our live coverage of EPT London, a reminder that when we've closed things out here tonight, we will return in Berlin. When the EPT goes to the German capital, the last week of April, we'll be there as well. Our coverage kicking off on Sunday, the 21st of April, right here on PokerStars.tv.
All I'm saying, guys, it's Saturday night in London. And going out Saturday night in London and not pulling is like falling into the Thames without getting wet, okay? So let's just wrap things up at a reasonable hour here so we can still make a day of it.
Do you reckon you could have a word with Ruben, Paul, and just say, Ruben, just open shove every hand and hope for the best?
I would like to see that. I would like to party as well with Ruben and all the other Dutch guys and just go out. But
wow,
I mean,
he's doing it. I mean, it's not an open shove, granted,
like,
but
you guys, this is the one. This is the one, guys.
So just to recap the action.
Is it just a reshove?
Oh.
No!
Ruben raised.
Ruben raised?
I really thought that was the one.
So it was a 4-bet shove from Ruben.
But it was still quite a lot of big blinds, right? I think like if Ruben has like a really good hand, he was still 4-bet call instead of jamming. But all right, it was like 40 bigs. So I guess most of the times he would have like a small pair here or like something like that.
So we're talking about a 140K flip.
Just wondering, can you imagine if we'd taken Stapes to Copenhagen last year? How would he have coped with that?
I would have set the building on fire. Guess what, guys? We're not talking about your tournament life. We're talking about your actual life. Push him in the middle.
I love that. Let's set fire to the tournament room, and you've got the time it takes for the smoke to reach the table for you to play this out.
Or just like one really long fuse on a stick of dynamite.
So how long did it take in Copenhagen then?
That was a long heads-up battle. That was Mickey Peterson grinding down Pierre Neville over the course of what felt like 6 hours.
Yeah, grinding down Pierre Neville, that's pretty tough. That's like, I don't know. It's like walking through the desert and hope you get to the end or something.
I'm being told that the heads-up battle was actually around 4.5 hours, but it felt like double that.
So how long is this one already running?
Not that long in the grand scheme of things. I think probably better part of 2 hours. They played an entire level heads up, right?
And he's already got him down and back again now to 4.3 million. I mean, we could see an all-in pretty soon. But then again, I mean, how often was Joe right here? I mean, he thinks we were all in every hand here, so.
Oh my God, Paul, you just asked the $1 million question.
That was a bet and a call.
How often is Joe right?
I think Ruben won the pot again.
Sure
with
did.
a straight on the river. Pretty nice.
Bottom end of the straight. Tables it with confidence.
Since I joined, I didn't really see Ruben losing a pot, so I guess I'm like his lucky.
You can stay here, Paul, because Ruben has now opened up the gap.
Yeah.
15.6 million plays 3.6. I don't care whether you're Ruben's lucky charm or you're just ensuring there's action, but either way, you are staying, my friend.
You're Lithuania.
The Lithuanian guy looks a little frustrated as well at the moment. Tries to figure out a plan to double up, I guess.
Maybe frustrated if he had a 4 on that hand.
Ruben re-raising again.
You guys, I don't want to say it. I don't want to say
All
it.
in a call. All in and a call.
I think this might be the one, guys.
Vizotskis
I'm pretty sure all the money's going in here.
raised the button with 10s. Ruben 3-bet. Vizotskis shoved, and this has been the story of the final table. Big flips. Pocket 10s against ace-queen. 10s the hand for Vizotskis. Ace-queen the hand for Ruben Visser. And if Visser hits, if Visser improves, then we will have a winner here in London. This could be the tournament. No ace, no queen. Mantis, now a 75% favorite to double up.
Come on.
We've seen a few players get there on the river today.
Face card.
It's a queen! It's a queen and that's it! Ruben Visser wins EPT London. Woo! Mantis Vizotskis is the runner-up. So as part of the three-way deal they struck, he receives £377,436. Ruben Visser locked up $455,000. He gets the 140 extra, so he collects £595,000. Plus, he is a European Poker Tour champion. He'll lift the trophy. And you must be thrilled, Paul. Another Dutch winner on the EPT.
Yeah, it's the 5th one, I think, right? Yeah.
He may well be. I mean, I imagine you've been counting, keeping track, probably with more accuracy than I have.
I'm planning on being the 6th one in Berlin, though. But really, congrats to Ruben. He played awesome the whole tournament, and I think as a person and as a good player, he really deserves this title. He was due.
And as I said, the story of this final table has been big flips. No real surprise at the final hand. It came down to the 2 overcards against the pocket pair, and this time the overcards hit, and they did it in dramatic fashion. Ruben waited till the river to hit that queen, which wins him the title and £595,000. So remember, there was a 3-way deal, which resulted in Olof Haglund, the Swedish player, actually making more for finishing third than Mantas did for finishing second. We started at noon local time. Chris Moorman was the first player out for 57k. We lost the other English player in 7th. Then we lost Christopher Frank. The man who started the day as chip leader, Steve O'Dwyer, went out 5th. Theo Jorgensen, so close to the triple crown, he busted in 4th. That's when the deal negotiations took place. That's when they locked up sums, guaranteeing themselves a good payday. And then when we got heads up, Ruben Visser defeats Mantas Visotskis. And Holland has a new EPT champion. Lithuania denied their first EPT title. But still a great result for the young guy, playing in his first ever EPT main event. So just before we close things out here in London, before we hear from our winner Ruben Visser, before we have the official winners presentation, let's just resolve our caption competition today. A reminder of the photograph that we brought you earlier on. This is James Hartigan and Joe Stapleton attempting to recreate the infamous Mike McDonald stare down. And here are the final suggestions. James Hogan, we really need a bigger booth to be able to have a meaningful game of hide and seek. And then the finalists. Nat, after dealing successfully with the excess plaque issue, James and Stapes turn their attention to earwax. Close, but it ain't gonna win it. Peter, Mike McDonald admits teaching Theo Jorgensen everything he knows about chip shuffling. Good, but it's not a winner. Timex manages to successfully chat up Kate the dealer. That was from John the Book. Sorry, John, you fell at the final hurdle. Todd Mercer. Mercia sent us. We like, but you're the runner-up. But the winner is Manuel Siebert, who sent in The Men Who Stare at Pros. A nice little pun on a movie title. That's always going to float my boat. So congratulations, Manuel. We'll get in touch with you on Twitter. You have won 2 DVD box sets. You have won the Big Game Season 1. You've won those poker tutorials. Congratulations to you, and congratulations to our winner. Let's hear from Ruben Visser. He's on the floor talking to Joe Stapleton.
Ruben Visser, earlier in the week I asked you if you were going to come give commentary in the booth, and what did you say?
I hope I won't be able to. So I guess that worked out, that prediction.
You were a little more confident than that, I think. I think your words were, I definitely won't be doing commentary.
Okay, I might have said that, but I wasn't completely serious.
Okay, well, it turns out you were right. Now, you're a guy who, I will say this, you're a confident poker player. You've known you could do this for a really long time. How happy are you now that the rest of the world knows that you can do this?
Incredibly happy. I feel like I've been playing pretty well in live poker tournaments for like a few years, and I did not have results for the longest time. Then I got some really good results, ran like definitely above expectation in those tournaments. Now I ran like about £600,000 above expectation. So yeah, it's turned around like completely, and I'm incredibly happy.
Yeah, speaking of those other tournaments, you finished 8th at the PCA final table. This is going to be kind of a layup question for you. How does winning this compare to busting out in 8th place of that other EPT final table?
That was probably one of the worst days in my poker career, if not the worst. And this is probably the best. So yeah, it's probably like the other side of the spectrum.
Yeah, the complete opposite of the polarized scale.
This just feels completely awesome. Like in front of friends, my girlfriend, like on the stream, to actually win it, and like just beating a really tough final table feels so good. And after PCA final table, I was just like, I'm never gonna get this chance again. Then like this week, I actually like I walked here this morning, I felt like, wait, I got a second chance, and I did a lot better this time.
Yeah, really capitalized on that second chance. Wanted to talk to you about the support you're getting from back home. Take your phone out for a second and show the camera how many messages you have right now.
Yeah, that would probably be like around 20, not showing the group chats.
So right there, everyone in Holland. Holland just exploded, everybody. Lines are down. Do not try to contact this man right now. Ruben, where are you going next?
I have no idea. Like I wasn't even thinking about like what to do when the tournament was over. Like, I was just in the last hand with ace queen first tens. After 4 cards, I was just like, so I have to start grinding him down again. Like, and now it's just over, and I won, and I'm extremely happy, and I have no idea what to do next.
It is. I'm going to make a suggestion. Bottle service. Anybody? All right, it is over. You did win. Let's get a big round of applause for EPT London champion Ruben Visser. All right, James, bring it on home.
Thank you very much, Joe, and congratulations once again to Ruben Visser. I also want to throw congratulations one more time to Steve O'Dwyer. I just want to make it clear, it is a huge achievement to make the final table of EPT London in back-to-back seasons. I know Steve wanted to go one better, but he has to be content with a 5th place finish. Chris Moorman was hoping to prove himself on the live stage and really get that first big live result. He had to make do with an 8th place finish. Obviously Theo was looking to complete the Triple Crown, but we're so glad he's back on the EPT, back on the live circuit, and what a way to announce that you are back. And Ruben Visser makes another EPT final table, and this time he secures victory. He cut himself a good deal, £595,000 he wins, plus of course he lifts that trophy, and he'll lift that trophy very shortly when we get to the winner's presentation, and he joins that exclusive club. He is an EPT title holder. Thank you for all your kind remarks on Twitter, by the way. Lots of Dutchies celebrating Ruben's win. Patrick says, Ruben the River King. Tender says, boom! Dutchie takes down EPT London. And then we got people thanking us for our hard work, including Paul Walsh, who says, thanks so much, guys, for another amazing week of coverage and free entertainment. Thank you to you and all the team. And the operative words in that tweet are all the team. I want to make it clear. Joe Stapleton and James Hartigan are the voices of a lot of other people's hard work. Huge thanks to the entire production team for the awesome job they have done this week. Amazing stuff. It is no small feat to cover a tournament from start to finish, and that's exactly what we've done here. We did it in Deauville, and we will do it again 2 more times this season. A reminder that we are taking the show to the German capital. Berlin is the next leg of the European Poker Tour, and we will be there from day 1A, Sunday the 21st of April, and we will be there till the very end, the following Saturday the 27th. Day 1A, Day 1B, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 for the final table. And remember, EPT9 concludes with an awesome festival in Monaco. And again, we'll be there for 10 days of live coverage, not just of the main event, but also of the Super High Roller, plus some potential side action. Who knows, maybe we'll bring you some of that cash game action that Neil Johnson, PokerStars live event specialist, has been talking about. And Neil, as we come to the end of this 37 event festival, the UK IPT and the EPT bolted together, a general feeling from the players that this has been a huge success.
Absolutely. This has been a fantastic event. You look at the 1,099 we got for the UK IPT London, and you think next year we're coming back with the venue's going to have 80 to 100 tables, the capacity for that UK IPT London to grow, for the EPT London to continue to grow. It's just this, the merger of the national tour and the regional tour for the EPT's been tremendously successful, seeing thousands of runners and millions of pounds, in this case, being given away.
And with Neil sat alongside me, it's a good opportunity to thank all of the guests we've had in on EPT Live over the last few days. Neil is among them, all the members of Team Pro, all the non-Team Pro pros who've joined us to provide their analysis, including Paul Berende, who's gone down to the floor to congratulate his friend Ruben Visser. And of course, big props to our colleagues from the PokerStars blog, Howard Swain, Stephen Bartley and Rick Dacey. And make sure you do follow them on Twitter at PokerStars blog, and make sure that you read their end of day report, their end of tournament report online. As far as we're concerned, we will be back. EPT Berlin, the 21st of April is when our live coverage starts. But for the final time, as we throw down to the winner's presentation from Joe Stapleton and me, James Hartigan, it's good night from London.
Hello everybody, my name's Toby Stone, EPT London Tournament Director. I'd like to present Terry Schofield, Casino Manager here, and Ed Suchili, EPT President. We started the event with 647 players 6 days ago, and after an exciting final, we have our winner. He's 24 years old from the Netherlands, and he takes away a life-changing amount of £595,000. Ruben Visser.
Yeah, finally we have our new champion, and for EPT it's time to say goodbye to London. On behalf of the whole team, I would like to thank the players, the staff, the media, our partners, as well as our sponsors. I hope you enjoyed your time in London, and I'm looking forward to see you at the next stop of the European Poker Tour from the 17th to the 27th of April in the German capital, Berlin. Thanks again, and have a safe trip home.